Hi. How you doing? How you do? Oh my God. Just messing up the intro. How you doing? How you be? Thompson at AB and Gaming News. Mortal Kombat 1 is a thing and it is a go. Plus other games, kind of interesting, but a Souls-like game right after this. Hi, I'm Anthony, and if you are new here, consider subscribing. We actually troubleshoot and help people with their technical issues and PC gaming issues, and subscribing will help us grow the channel and help more people. Thanks. Forum, how you doing? How you be? Top to the AB. I am so sorry. I tripped on the way here. Made me forget everything I was getting ready to talk about. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody had a good day at work and or school and or other. My name is Anthony or TheOpenForum, and we are gaming adjacent. Essentially, we help people with their gaming issues, technical issues, PC, this, that, and the other. Okay, a lot has happened. Sorry about yesterday. I was almost sorry about today too. It's okay. So what I'm actually thinking about doing is I'm thinking about changing up a few things, particularly when it comes to the gaming aspect of it, maybe doing something a little bit different, maybe incorporating more gaming than actual tech, kind of trying to appeal to a more broad audience. I know like a lot of things that we kind of talk about is very, very detailed. You know, talking about VPN and networking and stuff like that exactly isn't everyone's cup of tea. So maybe wanting to change it up and make it a little bit more broad, and then people can ask technical questions in the chat, something along those lines. Or maybe we mix it up, kind of back to how we used to do it before we started to go straight tech, maybe have a little bit more gaming involved. But with me in games, okay. So okay, my thing with playing video games is like it's almost like a persona. It's not exactly playing video games, you're actually being an entertainer. You just happen to be playing video games. So for me, it's kind of an interesting thing because I enjoy being in front of cameras. I enjoy talking about different things in tech and games and stuff like that, but I don't really enjoy playing video games like intently. Like there may be some games that I'm really into, but like games that I'm not really into, I don't really waste time playing it. So and making a channel that's kind of more geared towards gaming and less tech or less technical support, it would put us in a situation where I would end up playing more games, and I'm not as passionate about that as I am about helping people. So it's kind of like a mixed bag. So we're still trying to figure that out and see exactly where that goes. But without further ado, we do have a few things to discuss. Lords of the Fallen, that is the one that is Souls-like, and we will take a look at it here in a little bit. Let me turn on this AC and we can get it popping. Okay, yeah, that's much better. Let's see how we got that. Okay, yeah, it's okay. Alrighty, so Lords of the Fallen, let's go ahead and check this out real quick.
Mornstead has fallen, its great army decimated by the legions of Adir, the demon god. But one light still flickers in the ever-growing gloom, the light of the Dark Crusader.
The radiance of Mornstead withers. Adir's darkness threatens to desolate our world. Ascend to Aureus, my child. As his holy redeemer.
Pip glove.
In light we walk. In light we walk.
Burn their very souls to ash.
Your flesh has been made sacrosanct with the mark of the Dark Crusaders.
I am a man who walks alone, and when I'm walking a dark road, at night or strolling through the park.
Great potential dwells within you, doubtless. for you to be chosen thusly.
Fear of the dark. Fear of the dark. I have a phobia that someone's always there.
Prove yourself worthy of this gift.
By your radiance, grant me the strength to continue to endure these dark days.
Relinquish the lamp, and your suffering ends.
Another unfortunate made a slave to unceasing hunger. I pity you.
Reignite the blessed beacons of Mornstead and thwart Adir's cataclysmic resurrection.
I'm pretty sure I just saw Melina and Melania. Two different franchises. Wow, that looks awesome. That looks, it's definitely Dark Souls. That's for sure. That is Souls like to its core. But yeah, it had like Melina and then it had Melania, and I was just like, is that Melania? Is Melania a dude now? Like, what's going on here? It was very interesting. But yeah, it's definitely Souls like. But yeah, it looks amazing. Oh my goodness, Lords of the Fallen exclusive extended gameplay reveal trailer. Alrighty, next up we have Mortal Kombat 1. I've been waiting for this for a while. Just let's see what's going on here. What's going on with Mortal Kombat?
It is time. Time to wake up to a new reality. To a blank canvas that I have painted in with warmth and peace. In my new era, the choice is yours. Whether to live in quiet serenity or bloody strife. To dwell in joyous prosperity or bitter rivalry.
That's a bad girl.
You can face each other as sworn enemies or united as brothers. But a storm is brewing, and soon you will discover that even in this new era, one constant remains. There is always something worth fighting for. You have chosen to defy peace. Then you have chosen war with a god.
Good God. What was that? Okay, there's just so much to discuss. All right, let me think about this. Let me register all this. Okay, first off, Melina was in it. Okay, so Melina was never in Mortal Kombat 1. For those of you who aren't aware, she came in Mortal Kombat 2. Melina, though, she has one of the best stories that we talked about yesterday. She has literally one of the best stories in the entire game. And Kitana and Melina have always hated each other, but there were times where they were actually on the same side before Melina took the crown. So it's kind of an interesting one. So basically, if those of you aren't aware of what's happening there, because the trailer pretty much just said it, but what's happening is essentially Liu Kang recreated the world. Okay, he became a god and he recreated the world in the past Mortal Kombat. So everything is starting over. And now that everything is starting over, he is now Raiden. He's even stronger than Raiden because he has Raiden's powers plus he has fire powers, right? So basically, he's the one who won Mortal Kombat. But Liu Kang has never really been an interesting character. He's like the Red Power Ranger, I guess is the best way to say it. He's not exactly the most interesting. He just is always around. You know what I mean? He's been there through the beginning, so it's okay that it's him. You know what I mean? So it's kind of an interesting one that it had Kitana and Melina and then Scorpion and Sub-Zero, but they weren't enemies. So it's kind of an interesting one. So basically, Scorpion and Sub-Zero have kind of come full circle and they're not exactly hating each other anymore. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes and how Scorpion's character plays out, because his quest for revenge was like on par with like Kratos. Like that man was hell-bent. Like he wanted revenge. So it'd be interesting to see how the whole thing plays out. But yeah, Mortal Kombat 1, I'm kind of excited about it. More so just to see the story, not necessarily to play the game. But those fatalities did look kind of fire though. I had to leave it on Diablo because I was worried that if I had it on Zelda with showing fatalities, that would probably not be the best thing and to get demonetized or something. Even though I'm not even monetized, I just thought it would be kind of weird. Okay. Now, all that being said, we can go ahead and get started helping people, as well as let's switch it up to Zelda. I did notice that I had an audio issue last time we actually had Zelda on. I think that has been addressed. Let me make sure. Yes, it looks fine. Let's see here. Mike and sure. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. A lot of times when I add new games, the audio kind of seeps in there, and usually I have it minimized. That way it's not that big of a deal, but it became kind of a problem in the last video, so I do apologize for that. But without further ado, let's get started. Let's help some people. Did I just get logged out of chat again? Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. Didn't think that would happen. That's kind of weird. 1 second. Y'all can't see this anyway. Okay. Let's see. It's kind of weird that it just straight up kicks me out. Not even sure why. But okay, whatever. Yeah, I see it. Okay, so I may not be able to see chat. Chat is kind of tripping right about now. I'm not sure exactly what it's doing, but I do see it. So, I mean, it's trying to do something. So we'll see how it goes. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. Group 1. Alrighty, so this is a repeat. Save files just vanished solutions. So basically he had some save files from, I think it was Elden Ring, and he got all the way to the end, and his save files just vanished. We were thinking it was corrupted. We tried to remove them and then try to re-download it from the cloud, but even the re-download was incorrect, and we were like, there may not be a whole lot of options you have. And he said, thank you for the response, brother. No new game plus. I did all I could, but unfortunately that save was corrupted, so nothing could be done. Yeah, sorry about that, man. Sorry to hear it. Sorry to hear it, bro. But if you have any further questions, we do this. Let me add that to here. Okay. So just go ahead and add that. But yeah, that is going to be an assist trophy. Thank you, Luca, for the dropping of the dime. So yeah, I mean, you know, we're trying to help him, but there's not a whole lot you can do there when you have these kind of situations, and you know, he can't even download. Like he's deleted it and tried to re-download and it's still nothing. So there's not a whole lot that can be done here. Alrighty, let's go ahead and go to the next one here. Ooh, rate my PlayStation setup. Sure, I like rating things. So PlayStation logo, he has a PlayStation 1, 2, then he has the 3, and then he has the PS5. Okay, so the 3 and the 4 are right next to each other, it looks like. I can't really tell just from looking at it on the side. I'm guessing he has every generation. But it would make sense just because he has the 1 and the 2 right there, and then he has the PS5 right there. So I'm guessing this is a 4 and a 3 right next to each other. That's kind of hard to see because of the glow. But maybe he doesn't have a PS4. Maybe he traded in his PS4 for the PS5. But either way, man, my man is on point with PlayStation. Yep. If you had a Sony tattoo, I would not be surprised. Ooh, there we go. And I cannot spell tattoo because I don't have one. But yeah, this man is one step away from a Sony tattoo. To be fair, I've had every Nintendo console. However, I always sold my old Nintendo console when the new one came out. I never kept it. Not ever. I can't even think of a situation where I've actually had both the one before it and the new one. I have always sold the old one to buy the new one every single time. Even as an adult, even when I didn't have to, I still did it. I don't know what it is, but Nintendo's hardware is just too dated to actually keep it around. But PlayStation is a different story. All right, let's go and go to the next one here. Alrighty, so this one is from Acceptable42. Are Switch AAA games ports dying slowly? Oh, this is a good topic. So apparently the Switch hardware is now outdated. Yeah, it is incredibly outdated. It makes it very difficult to even play a game that is as impressive and beautiful as Zelda. It's getting destroyed by the console. Like, the console is just dropping frame rates left and right. And you have to almost look past it because the game is so perfect or so great. And it seems to me that many new games would have been ported to the Switch if it was more powerful. Since the cancellation of Marvel's Midnight Suns and the delay of Hogwarts Legacy, it looks like less and less new games are being ported to the Switch. That makes sense because you gotta understand, Hogwarts Legacy eats 16 gigs for breakfast. Okay, that's just what Hogwarts Legacy does, and I just don't think it'll be an idea to like a good idea as far as gameplay and frame rate, and even keeping a constant 30 would be ideal, even at 1080p. I just don't see it happening with Hogwarts. Hogwarts is very demanding, mostly because of the way it's coded, but you know, it is what it is. Let's see. It looks like less and less new games are being ported to the Switch because it's difficult to optimize it for a 5-year-old hardware. I mean, the Switch has some really impressive ports that no one thought it would be possible. Doom, Witcher 3, true, but you know, Witcher 3 can be on the cell phone at this point. And a variety of big titles, and it comes actually more on the development side than the hardware, but I think that we get more impressive ports instead of a low-res 30 FPS port if the console was a bit more powerful and probably some 60 FPS first-party games. This is still my personal opinion. I think that ports will stop eventually if Nintendo doesn't release more powerful consoles. I think so too. I think Nintendo kind of sees the blood in the water with Nintendo Switch because the ROG Ally is going to sell out. Handheld consoles are going to sell out, and the Tegra Z1 Pro chip or Z1 Extreme chip and the Z1 are so good, you can run your entire computer, you can run any game you want to with at least 720p graphics, somewhere in that area with like mid to high settings, and not even have to worry about it, and your computer would just be chilling, you know. So I think they're starting to see a little bit of the writing on the wall with the Switch. The Switch was so revolutionary, but that it was able to have, you know, 4 to 5 years of longevity. But nowadays, when every single console kind of just smokes it, it's very hard to play certain games on it. It becomes a big deal because it's just the graphical horsepower of that guy is just non-existent, and it makes it difficult to play such excellent games that Nintendo likes to come out with. So I think because of the ROG Ally, Nintendo sees what's going on. I would not be surprised if the new Nintendo Switch or whatever updated version of Nintendo Switch has the Z1 Extreme processor. That would make the most sense because that is one of the strongest processors they can get, and I would not be shocked if they also had that in the Switch, and that would make Zelda look amazing. Or maybe they come out with like a Zelda 4K or something like that and do like a re-release of Tears of the Kingdom, and you know, and maybe that may be how they have plans on marketing it. But I can't see them not doing something about the Switch because it just gets smoked by everything, like literally everything. Steam Deck, everyone. So yeah, I think it's about time, and I think that ports will stop coming to the Switch because of that. All right, good talk. There's nothing to add. There's like 16 comments here. I'm not about to add my 2 cents. Just say yes. Oh, I can say this though. I think Nintendo sees the writing on the wall with the ROG Ally and gamers buying powerful consoles and emulating emulating the Switch. LOL. I wouldn't be shocked if they use the Tegra Z1. Is it Tegra Z1 or the Z1 Extreme chip and the ROG Ally and the new Nintendo Switch. I cannot see them just laying packed on their laurels and just not even trying to go for something. I'm sure they have something in the works because it's Nintendo. I bought every single Nintendo since I was a kid. Like, they've always had something in the works, and I just don't see them not having something for this. So yeah, let's go ahead and go to the next one here. Alrighty, and this is from Ema Gamer 08. What to do if your PC doesn't detect your mic? Oh, sure, I can help with that. So a couple of days ago, I found out that when I plug in my headset, my PC detects the headphones, but not the mic attached to them. Additionally, notes the headset can be connected with a single 3.5mm jack or with a USB, but if I connect them with USB, the PC doesn't even detect my headphones. It's also not an issue on the mic side since it works just fine on other devices. I also have installed all the newest drivers I needed to install on my PC. There is also a single jack port on my PC case, so changing the port is not an option. Any ideas? Well, the 3.5mm cord you are using, does it have 3 rings? Or does it have a split audio and video 3.5mm? Also, what do you see for inputs, audio inputs in the sound screen? So yeah, just trying to get an idea of what he sees as his audio inputs, like is something there at all, as well as how many rings does he actually have on a 3.5mm jack. For those of you who aren't aware, 3 rings means that it supports audio and audio out as well as mic in. So, but if it has 2, then more than likely it is going to be speakers. So basically just like a headphones. So he may have 2 or he may have 1 with 2, you know, kind of depending on what the issue is. But I just want to make sure exactly what kind of cord he's using. USB would have been the better option just to see exactly if that fixes his issue. But because he's already having problems with USB, it behooves us to ask him about the 3.5mm jack. Because it may just be that he hooked all his other devices up with USB and he tried to hook this guy up with mic or with 3.5mm because the USB didn't work. So it may not be a fair apples to apples comparison there. But, you know, we'll ask some questions and see exactly what he says. We'll get back to him. All right, let's go and go to, oh my God. Okay, I'm not going to read all of this because it's just way too long. Yeah, I'm gonna skip that. I'm sorry. This is super, super long. I get helping, but man, that is, whew, I can't read all that. Which one should I do? Let's get another 0. Oh, here we go. What? I don't know what this is. We'll just go ahead and grab it and add it. Why not? Losing my mind trying to install Steam on remote desktop connection to VPS. What's VPS? I'm trying to install Steam on remote desktop connection on Ubuntu. Oh God, no. Why do I take an L like that? No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that because I don't have Ubuntu here. I only have Steam, and Steam isn't exactly running that, so it's not. I can't actually troubleshoot the way I want to. And then on top of that, I'm kind of weak when it comes to Ubuntu. I haven't run that in forever, so yeah, it's been a minute. Alrighty, let's try another one. Refresh rate mismatch. Okay, this works. Need confirmation on findings. So I've got 3 60Hz displays now and looking to upgrade just the middle one to a nicer, larger, faster display. I have a question whether there would be an issue with mismatched display refresh rates. I picked up the Acer 165Hz, which is a very good monitor, from Best Buy as a test, and my findings were as such. Looking to see if others can confirm. Specs, he is 7700X and 6700 XT. 6700 XT. He doesn't say if that monitor is 1080p. Confirmed 165 Hz was properly set in advanced display and confirmed from info on monitor itself it was running at stated refresh rate. If the 165 Hz monitor was set to the main monitor in Windows, everything was smooth as butter. However, if 60 Hz display was set to the main monitor in Windows, even though the display was still running 165 Hz, it was much choppier. So it seems Windows limits the frame rate to all monitors to just the main monitor refresh rate, despite not changing the actual refresh rate. Anyone else been able to reproduce? Yeah, I run into this sometimes. Yeah, I run into this sometimes with software. My top monitor is 4K 60 and my bottom is 2K 240 Hertz. A lot of times, even though the 2K is the main panel, it will auto adjust as if the 4K was the main panel. For example, let me think. For example, Adobe software, Adobe software, like whenever you do like the color picker, it won't let you choose it. You have to move your entire Adobe screen to the top monitor in order for it to work. It's like little stuff like that. It will auto adjust as if the 4K was the main panel. For example, Adobe software will Adobe software color matching will not work as it thinks you are on the correct monitor, and games will load at 60 Hertz even though you're at 240 and the wrong monitor, etc. It happens. Like, this is very normal. If you have a 4K monitor and a 2K monitor, and 2K has a higher refresh rate, sometimes you may open games and it may not show you anything. Sometimes you may open games and it may show you at 2K 60. Sometimes you may open games and it may show you at 4K 60. It just kind of depends. I get less issue when I make the 240 Hertz my main monitor than if I'm making my secondary monitor. When I'm making my secondary monitor, nothing opens at 240 and nothing remembers. So it happens like that when you have mismatched monitors. Like this, when you have mismatched monitors. And this is across platforms, including Macs. I have the same problem on Macs too. If I have like one at 4K and one at 1080, some of the software doesn't work properly, or it may not open properly, or it may open too big or too small. The text may be too small. This is very common. This happens all the time. That's why I typically don't like running a 4K with a 2K. I'd rather have two 2Ks, but I edit in 4K, so you know it kind of happens that way. But yeah, this is very common. I'm not even sure if I could actually give a fix of what he can do for this. Oh, I do want to ask him this. What's wrong with leaving the higher refresh rate monitor as primary? Also, what resolution is the Acer at? Yeah, we kind of need to know that. I didn't know if he was talking about 1080p or 2K. You know, he may not actually be able to get 2K higher than 60 because of that graphics card. So figured I should at least ask just to make sure we have a decent understanding of what's going on here. But on to the next one. Group 2, car. That is a car. Let me just get out of that. I will just close it. That's fine. Group 2. Certain PS4 controller won't connect to PC's Bluetooth when another PS4 controller can. We've gone back and forth about this, and we said he was saying something about device manager. At this point, I'm willing to accept the controller's just busted and an explanation. I didn't say device manager. Okay, here's what I'm trying to say. It is either, so there are optional driver updates available for most Bluetooth modules. Only the required Bluetooth updates are included in Windows Update, but most cards have optional ones. There is a possibility that the MAC address of the controller is already in the Bluetooth settings, therefore it will not let you pair it. To fix it, I am saying for you to delete all controllers there and try to reload or re-add it. Even if it shows removal failed, still try to re-add it and see if it works. It's busted. Okay, I can explain this. So let me go over to Windows 10 real quick and we can kind of talk about it. So in Windows 10, I think I do have a controller here. So if we open up Bluetooth, all right, cool. Sometimes whenever you try to remove like this Xbox wireless controller, it may not do it. Okay, well, that time it actually did it. Sometimes it can say removal failed. And if it says that, still go ahead and try to add the device back, even if it says remove failed, because maybe it's just having some issues or it's corrupted. But it'll still let you re-add it back. So a lot of times the MAC address may actually already be here. Therefore, it won't allow you to re-add it. But if you delete it and then try to re-add it, that should work. That's what I was trying to get at. Sometimes whenever you hit that delete button for the Bluetooth devices, it won't actually delete it. And my AMD PC is obviously trying to call me a liar. But let's go ahead and go back here. Yeah, it's this one. I've checked for Bluetooth driver updates through the device manager. That's not going to do it. And reinstalled them. I'm pretty sure, and the Bluetooth works just fine with another controller or busted PS4 controller. So what are the optional updates you're speaking of, and how do I delete the controller? Because if you just mean removing it from Bluetooth devices in the PC settings, then it's already not there. Well, all controllers of the same type have the same name, is what I meant. So there is no real, so how do you know? So how well, okay, is what I meant. Well, all controllers of the same type have the same name is what I meant. And removing all the controllers with the same name is a good troubleshooting step to figure out the problem. Yes, depending on the version of Windows, there is something called optional updates. I don't have my Windows 11 PC. I can just tell them on Windows 10, it's, and we can look at it here. And Windows 10, it's, you just go to, oops, sorry. I am trying to click on it on the stream. Oops, clicked on the wrong one. There we go. So just go Windows Update, and then view optional updates. Windows Update, view optional updates. Let me go ahead and add that form. Windows Update, view optional updates. View optional updates, and then driver updates. And then driver updates. And then driver updates. Driver updates. See if there is something for Bluetooth. In Windows 11, it is something similar, but I can't. Oh, I'm on Windows 11. Duh. Windows Update. Advanced options. In Windows 11, it is. Okay, let me swap off that way you can look at something. And Windows 11, it is Windows, can't spell, Windows Update, Advanced Options, Windows Update, Advanced Options, Optional Updates. Optional updates towards the bottom. And we're almost done here. Optional updates, and then other updates. I'm sorry, driver updates, and then driver updates. Let me copy this. This is actually quite useful, so we can use it in case anybody else in the future has the same problem or question, and or both. Okay, but that's where they are. So yeah, we're just trying to see if he could check for that. But yeah, I'm not about to beat a dead horse. It sounds like he doesn't want to beat it either. So yeah, we're not gonna both beat up a dead horse. We're just gonna leave it alone. So I'll just go ahead and put that there just to try to explain what I was trying to tell him. But yeah, if he doesn't want to do it, he doesn't want to do it. I'm not about to make him. It's not a big deal. We're talking about a controller, bro. So it's not, it's not the end of the world. Plus he got a spare. So, I'm not sweating it if he's not. Alrighty. I dislike those Naked and Afraid type shrines that they be having where you don't have any gear and you got to beat up everybody with like a stick. It's kind of annoying. I think they did a little bit too much of that, but I get why they did it, because that island where you lose all your gear is probably one of the most entertaining twists in Breath of the Wild. So I get it. They just went ham. If anything was at a 10, they made it a 13. If anything was at an 8, they made it a 10. That's how they did it. All right, so let's go ahead and go to Vava, that's his name. And this is a repeat as well. Random black screen. Hey peeps, I have a Series X. I can play it for hours without any hiccups, and then out of the blue, screen goes black. I can still hear the game. The console still responds to the controller. I just can't see anything. If I switch it off and back on, this usually works until the next time it happens. I've ordered some new certified 2.1 HDMI cables to see if that's the issue, but what else could it be? And we've been going back and forth here. I said, he's talking about his HDMI cable is coming in, but he says it's working currently. I said, okay, let's keep an eye on it and let me know if the issue comes back. By the way, if you have issues in the future, let us know we exist. He says, I appreciate the info. Thanks. So far, I haven't had any more black screen issues. Oh man, that is a win, but I think we've already called that a W. So I'm not about to play the, I'm not about to self-gratify myself. I think we've already played it on the last time. So we're not going to say that, but yeah, it appears that he is good to go. So we'll just go ahead and give him an upvote, and we'll go ahead and go to the next one. Alrighty here. So this is from MVP Kale. The hard decision of digital versus non-digital. Purchasing perspectives. Oh, this is a good one. I will try to keep this really short, LOL. Thank you, because I mean, some of them long ones is really hard for us to get through. Nintendo pushing digital sales shows that they are struggling to convert people. Honestly, people we know, 90% of the population now only buys movies digitally, rents them on Amazon for $2.99, or just streams them and never makes a purchase. Not to mention, so many of us rely heavily on Steam, and yet again, the $200 I have spent on Civilization 6 has no physical presence in the universe. I get that. I try to stay away from games that have gotcha things that you can't make money off of, which sounds terrible, but it makes sense, right? Because I want to be able to get whatever money I put in out. So the games that I used to play are games that you could self-monetize, even though it may not be considered the most legal thing to do. That's kind of the way I've always looked at it. Genshin Impact was the first exception for me, where the money I put in, I did not get out. So why is it hard to switch, pun intended? For me, I am not a sentimental person. I heavily rely on time value of money economics equation for a lot of decisions in life. $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. Correct. Use this logic. Saving $15 to $20 by purchasing online should always be the decision. We can actually calculate the expected future value of our money as well, which oftentimes shows it's better to buy digitally than banking on reselling your game in 5 to 6 years. Does this mean the only reason it is hard for some to switch, such as myself, is materialism? We want to hold the item, own the item visually, see the item in a space. This is true. This is true for anything. This is the reason why McDonald's went to credit cards, because whenever you hold money and you touch it physically and things are physical and in your face about it, there is a component of not wanting to get rid of said money or object or item, and it hurts. It's a pain. It's a pain feeling or a pain type of emotion. So to get rid of that, they don't have any type of association with money, the actual physical money. So instead they put everything on credit cards and accepted credit cards for the majority of things now. I mean, you can still pay with cash, but most just accept credit cards. And whenever you have credit cards, there's no feeling of remorse. There's no buyer's remorse. You don't get that feeling. It's not as pronounced unless you force it to be pronounced, unless, you become credit conscious and things of that nature. But yeah, that's the reason why McDonald's did it in the first place. Like it was a big deal too, because they were trying to do like cash and cash only, and then credit cards came out, but they had studies saying that people buy more from McDonald's when they use their credit card. So, whereas they may only buy like a double cheeseburger or something like that, they may, supersize it and get fries and a drink, whenever they have their credit card. So yeah, he's not alone in this. Does this mean that the only reason it's hard to switch some off it because of materialism. We want to hold it. Yeah, got it. Well, here goes buying some game vouchers. Oh wait, there isn't another game that is new that I want to buy in the next 12 months. This must be why I can buy Smash Brothers, Breath of the Wild, Pokemon, Witcher, and plethora of other games, physical use for $20 to $35. So how are you justifying it, you fellow materialistic people? Okay, so how do I justify it? Okay, for me, okay, this is a lot to talk about. All right, let's think about this. All right, so the way I've always justified it, there's two laws that I have. The first law is if it's something that takes money out of my pocket, I want to be able to monetize it. And the second law that I have is that I'm not allowed to buy something new unless the other one that I previously had is already broken, right? So those are the two laws that I lived by for a very long time. I'm not sure if I live by them anymore, but those are the laws that I lived by, right? So you have games that I've played, like for example, there was this game called Mew Online, and Mew Online is a very, very highly monetized game. But the game is so highly monetized, you can monetize within the game and make money in the game, kind of like how Diablo was when it first came out. So a lot of times people were just making money from the game within the game. So it wasn't the worst thing in the world, because even though it was you know, frowned upon, everyone did it, and it was kind of normal because everybody was making money. The company WebZen was making money. We were making money. Everybody was good, right? So WebZen makes a ton of money because people are still buying their products. And then we were making money because we were underselling some of the items that you can buy on the game. So we had people that would sell and make money, and nobody complained because it was cheaper than buying it from WebZen. But WebZen was making money still because people were still buying the coins that were used to buy the items from us. So everybody was paying everybody, right? We had the items that are all leveled up, but they needed the money to get the items that were all leveled up. So they would pay us the money that they paid WebZen in order to get the items that we already leveled up. You see what I'm saying? So now we're all kind of making money. Everybody's making money. So that's kind of how Mew works. And you become better and better and better, and you make more and more money that way, and you become pretty profitable. And you know, and nobody told on anybody, nobody snitched. Everybody kind of knew what was going on, and it was okay as long as they didn't get egregious where they're like a million flooding the market and it lowers the price. As long as that didn't happen, everybody was cool. And it went on like this for like 13 years. When I got out of Mew Online, okay, I probably spent $25,000 in that game. Okay, you gotta understand, I played that game since I was 22 years old, 22 years old. I stopped playing at like 35, 36. Okay, so I've been playing for like 13, 14, 15 years. I think Mew was on season 16, 17, somewhere in that area. So I've been playing since the beginning. Even though I spent like $25,000, $30,000, when I left, I got back about $25,000. I got all that money back. So that is kind of how I did things, right? I got almost all that money back from playing Mew Online. There are some very good benefits to playing a game that way, right? But then you get into games like Overwatch. Okay, well, you spend money on Overwatch. There's no coming back. Genshin Impact. And you know, those kind of games where you spend money and you're buying things, but everything in the game is easy. So there's no real point. Like, you can beat the entire game with the starting 4 characters they give you. There is absolutely no reason to have anybody else unless you just want to try something else. But I didn't know that going in, but that's what ended up happening. I thought it was going to get harder. It doesn't. It's almost Pokemon level. So Genshin Impact wants to take the Pokemon role and the Pokemon level, and it's like, okay, we'll just create new Pokemon over and over and over again, but the content isn't hard. So if Genshin Impact is taking that direction with their game, there's nothing I can do about it. So I think that originally, back in the day when everybody was making money, I liked that concept, even though it's not very Americanized. But nowadays, they just take your money and they don't give you anything back. And if they catch you cheating, they fire you, they ban you. Nobody making money but us. I don't like that. I feel like if everybody's making money, nobody has a problem and your game thrives. But if only one person is making money and nobody else is making money, everybody else is a spender, then you're going to have people leave the game. And so I just think that maybe there can be times where maybe we can balance that out a little bit. I know it sounds a little cliche, but some of the games that have the best longevity have a market system where people make money. So, you know, that's the way I've always looked at it. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but it makes a lot of sense. If you can play a video game and make money while playing said video game, why not? You see what I'm saying? That's what Twitch streamers do. That's what YouTubers do. That's what everybody else does. And sometimes you may not make a whole lot of money doing Twitch or YouTube. So you have to go about it a different way. And if you make money in game, you make money in game. So I get that. That's kind of how I would look at it. If everybody's making money, then you tend to stay longer. But if you're the only person that's losing and they're the only people that's gaining, then you're not going to stay for very long. I don't care how deep your pockets are. That's like case in point, Diablo Immortal. Like, how long are you going to keep playing that game while losing money? You see what I'm saying? It's almost gambling at a certain point, and you always lose. There's no winning here. So that's the way I've always felt about it. There's just no, I don't like games where there's no winning. There's just only losing. You know, you may have a good experience, but you could have had that good experience with different characters, or not getting this weapon 6-star or 5-star or whatever. You know what I mean? Not getting this 6 constellation, you would have did the exact same amount of damage, you know? So that's the way I feel about it. It's kind of a long topic, but that's exactly how I feel when it comes to the MMO world and the genre. Like, I don't know, man. I'm kind of like an equal opportunity getting paid. Like, if you get paid, I get paid. Hey, I got no problems. But it's hard for me to stay on a game that doesn't make me money. That was a good one. That was a good question. Okay, so this is from Yo Solo. Hogwarts Legacy pre-order bonus help. I bought Hogwarts Legacy for my wife for her birthday. Wow, well, that's pretty sweet. Signed into her account so she would get the Onyx Hippogriff, and I paid with my card. When she downloaded it, she was never prompted about the Onyx Hippogriff at all, but she's been playing a couple weeks. I just started up to create my character and started playing, and immediately announced that I'd gotten the Onyx Hippogriff. Click here to claim. Why did this happen? Can it be activated on more than one account on the same machine? Is there any way to transfer it? Thank you. No, more than likely it went to the primary account holder. Thus, the secondary user did not get it. The primary account holder, thus the secondary account user did not get it. I take it you have a family account. Yeah, that happens with like family accounts. The primary typically gets all the gifts and the secondary account doesn't get anything. Now, the only exception, of course, is with like Nintendo, because Nintendo, if you have 2 people a part of the same account, they can play whatever games you play, they get whatever DLCs you get, and whatever buffs you have, they get as well. But PlayStation and Xbox, I don't think they play that game. But I don't have family accounts on those, so there may be some issues, but it's better just to go ahead and ask, just to be on the safe side. Alrighty, next up, this is from Hazy Sky. PC no video out. Hi. Oh, okay. So this was a repeat. Yeah, this is a repeat. Hi all. Need help for a friend who was having issues with the video out from their graphics card. I remember this. So I had to ask them to basically try to check the BIOS and maybe try to do a reset of the BIOS. But then they said, you know, how are we supposed to get into the BIOS if we have no graphics card? And I was thinking that the CPU they had integrated graphics, which is not. That was my fault. And so we gave them some more ideas. And I said, my fault, thought the 11700KF had integrated graphics. It does not appear to be the case. Also, certain motherboards allow you to update the BIOS without the device technically being on, hence where this comes from. My apologies. Do you have a replacement GPU you can test with? This is your friend, meaning you probably have a PC with a GPU as well. Swap them out and then update the BIOS. No worries, you're all good. I don't think this board has BIOS flashback, given the GPU being used was an RMA replacement from ASUS. I hope it's not broken, LOL. Unfortunately, my friend is on the other side of the world. Oh, well, he's screwed. I was expecting power supply at the moment, as they mentioned to me the PC shut down randomly and restarted with no video out since. Yeah, it's starting to sound that way. But you're not going to get past GPU/power without having one or the other. Keep me posted if you have any questions, bro. There's nothing to say at this point. He's hardware, but he doesn't have any hardware to replace. It's either GPU or it's power, and it sounds more like it's power, as he mentioned, but it can also still be GPU, but you can't actually figure out either one of them if you only have one of them. Does that make sense? Like, if you don't have a second, well, there's no way you can figure out whether or not it's power or GPU. It doesn't turn on, so it doesn't give you a chance to try to figure out anything else. So, you know, it's kind of it there, because you can't do integrated graphics with the graphics card, and you can't replace the power supply. So there's not a whole lot we can do here. Alrighty, Hazy, keep us posted though if you have any questions, bro. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next one here. What is this? Oh, here we go. Sus activities on my phone. This is from Takeover. I was about to sleep when I tried to download something from my Play Store. Every time I try to click on the app from the store, it closes. Tried to look around and saw that my city is set to Bangladesh, which is not true, and my Chrome is draining a good slice of battery, and the only way to close it is to disable and uninstall it. Same after restart. I don't want to jump to false conclusions and scream that I'm being hacked or something, so what can it be done? Any idea? Well, Malwarebytes does have a phone app. I would download and scan first. What type of phone is this? More than likely, it may be some settings that have been changed due to a pop-up being clicked. Do you have this issue in a different browser? Yeah, I'm just thinking that you may have some settings in this browser. Remember, Chrome, once you log in and set up Chrome, it pulls in all the information from your other Chrome devices. So, you know, if you have favorites and everything like that, or if you have settings in your other devices, it may actually show up there as well. What is that? Oh, a restroom. It may show up in Chrome as well, because it'll link all your settings and all your favorites and history and all that kind of jazz. So yeah, we just kind of need a little bit more information, but yeah, go ahead and download Malwarebytes for your phone and see if that helps, and then try a different browser and see what it gets you. Alrighty, let's go ahead and go to the next one here. What's the difference from this and the one PS5 comes with? There is no difference. HDMI is a standard, so a lot of these cables, okay, so the reason why I put this up here is because I used to work at Best Buy, and Best Buy back in the day, they used to have these HDMI gold-plated cables that were like $120, and they did nothing more than what the $20 HDMI cables had from Amazon did. I think Amazon is what blew them up, because they used to sell them for like $120, and you would think that you're getting a better cable because it's gold-plated. No, it makes no difference. And it's gonna work just the same. It's a freaking HDMI cable. They both have to abide by the same standard. So yeah, I sold a bunch of HDMI cables in my past. I'll just put it that way. What happened? Wait for this one. What was this question? What's the difference from this? Nothing. Nothing. LOL. If it was diamond plated, the answer would still be nothing. All HDMI cables abide to a standard, so it's generally not worth it getting the OEM brand or the Best Buy brand. LOL. Yeah, it's really not worth it. Like those gold-plated, diamond-plated, diamond-studded HDMI cables that are in the back of your computer and nobody sees them. Like, what do you care if it's gold-plated or not? You're not even going to be looking. And it's frustrating, because I see people pay like $40, $50 for an HDMI cable when they could have got it for like $8 on Amazon. And they're like, oh yeah, but it's gold-plated. I just want to make sure that it lasts and, you know, it doesn't have any issues. Well, if you bend it, it's going to break any HDMI cable. It doesn't matter if it's gold-plated or whatever. It's still going to be out because you bent the cable. So yeah, it's just a marketing gimmick at this point. I just don't see it. It's a different material, correct, but it's not ideal. Now, of course, if it's longer, that's totally different. Now, if one is 6 foot and the other's 12, yeah, they're going to pay for that, and it's going to be a difference in price. But we're talking about the exact same HDMI cable with the exact same HDMI standard. That's when it becomes a little like, okay, there's no point. And you know, that PlayStation logo on the HDMI controller, nobody's gonna see when it's in the back of your PlayStation. So it's like, what's the point? Alrighty, and next up, help with Elite Series 2 core controller. Left trigger won't go down. Elite Series 2. Oh yeah, it's over there. I don't feel like getting it. It's far. I can't reach it. But we'll see what they say, and then we may have to. Today I got pre-owned Elite Series 2 controller. Oh no, the Elite Series 2 is in a different room. And the left trigger, no matter how much pressure is applied, won't go down. You need to press on it really hard for it to register in the game. Any suggestions? I checked the 2 trigger modifiers on the back and they aren't the problem. They won't have anything to do with that. You return it. Return it. If that button doesn't register at all, the joystick is probably faulty. This is extremely common for Elite controllers, for buttons to give out. Buttons / sticks to give out. I mean, I cannot tell you how common this is. I mean, not even doing what we do. It's common just in my own life. Like I've returned probably 2 to 3 Elite controllers. It is extremely common for buttons and things that you press a lot. Like for example, right bumper for run and like Genshin and stuff like that, or joysticks and pressing down on the joystick. I mean, it's very, very common. I mean, it is what it is kind of thing at this point, but I've never had a problem with their RMA service. I mean, I usually get the controller back in a month, so it's whatever. I removed this customer's 11-year-old CPU heatsink and the tag was still there. Oh, okay. So let me get this right. So it appears that my guy here actually left the sticker on the heatsink whenever he added it to the CPU block. And yeah, his CPU is still alive. It's an Intel Pentium. Well, okay, it's probably not alive anymore. Wow. 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 Surprise. It's not melted along the sides of the CPU. They don't make coolers. They don't make processors like they used to. If they talking about this is a Ryzen, this would be a small fire from that plastic melting. Like your entire computer will smell like plastic melting. Like it'll melt it in like 4 seconds. Like it turns into a sauna. So yeah. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. For that long, and it's a Pentium. Whew. Wow. If I leave plastic on, it will last longer and I can sell it later as basically new. I'm a genius. Yeah, that's woo Lord. Okay. The fact that you can still see it is crazy because that should have just been melted into just dust. I get that it's plastic and plastic doesn't melt in the dust, but you get the point. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next one here. Oh, the Xiaomi phone microphone. Hi there. Got a new Xiaomi Redmi Note 11 Pro. Made videos, and the only reason why I know this, the name Xiaomi, is because I did a review on them. The Xiaomi Airbuds, the Clear Vision, the Clear edition of the Xiaomi Red Buds. It's over there somewhere over there in the corner behind the light. But yeah, I am very familiar with that name. What can I do if I don't want to reboot my phone? Please help me. Why doesn't he want to reboot his phone? Got a new Redmi phone, but the sound of the recordings are horrible. Why don't you want to reboot? That's a normal shooting step. He said, but the sound of the recordings are horrible. Recordings? What kind of recordings are we talking about? What kind of recordings are we talking about? What kind of recordings are we talking about? Are you on the most up-to-date firmware? What app are you recording with? That's what you really want to know. Like, what are you talking about? You know how many apps there are that you can record with on a phone? Like, it's a bunch. It's a whole bunch. So yeah, we need a little bit more information for us to proceed further with that one. We don't even know what app you're trying to use. Okay, another discussion. I like these discussions. These discussions are getting kind of interesting. What's your opinion on the rumored PlayStation handheld? What kind of handheld are you expecting from PlayStation? Do you think it would compete well against the Switch? Is it going to have exclusives? Is it just remote play device? I think it's going to be more than a remote play device. I think it's going to have the ability to be a remote play device because, I mean, everything has the ability to be a remote play device for the PlayStation. I mean, you can play it on your cell phone. But I think it's also going to be able to play certain games. I don't think it's going to go as far as PSP did, where it had its own cartridges, because PlayStation, along with every other company, wants to kill companies that sell hardware resale for video games. They just want to. So because of that, I just don't see them going back to cartridges. I think they want to let companies like GameStop and Game Pass and all that, they want to let them starve. So they're just gonna, you know, slow burn, you know what I mean? So they're just gonna take all their rations and just let them die off. So I see them being a little bit more strategic about it, not going cartridge. So basically it's just gonna have like a 500 gig to 1 terabyte NVMe or solid state drive, and then just have your games there, downloaded from the internet. And I think that's probably the way they're gonna go with it. But this is coming from a person who had the PSP and who loved Final Fantasy Crisis Core. That game was excellent on the PSP. So yeah, you know, I would love to see one. They did it the best of between the Game Gear, the Game Boy Advance, and all the other Nintendo DSs and all that. I think that the PlayStation P, the PSP portable, the original one, not the Vita, the P, did it the best because it was such ahead of its time. I mean, it was so ahead of its time that people was even shy about taking ownership and actually buying it because it was so ahead of its time. That guy was awesome. So yeah, I would say, yeah, if they did, I'd probably buy it, even though I already have one and one on the way. When the ROG Ally comes out, I'd buy another one. Well, I have two. I have the Steam Deck and the Neo 2, and then the ROG Ally plus the, okay, maybe I won't buy it, but it'd be cool to have it just so I could actually test it and do reviews on it, but I don't know if I'd keep it because I got too many already. Alrighty, and to be fair, Neo 2 and the ROG Ally, and even the Steam Deck to an extent, can all remote play into the PlayStation. So what's the point? You see what I'm saying? So it's not like you can't with another device. Like the ROG Ally can remote play into the PlayStation, no problem. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know either. That is his username. I did not make that up. Monitors turn dark and GPU RTX 2080's fans gets very loud. Hey guys, a few days ago, my PC had been experiencing this problem. At random, my monitors turn dark and the GPU fan gets really loud. I checked the temps and it even happens when the GPU being at 60 to 70 degrees according to Afterburner. It would also happen when simply browsing the internet or once even in the BIOS. I visited a local PC repair shop and they confirmed that is indeed the GPU by putting it in another system. What can I do at this point? Should I repaste it and try, or even put it in the oven, or just accept it and sell it as a defect? Thanks. Well, I mean, GPUs die. Well, GPUs go out. It happens quite often. However, I would check to see if you have a RMA, if you have an extended warranty, but to be honest, it's probably game over. To be honest, it's probably game over for that GPU, no, you can't trade in GPUs because of mining and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's just over for them. Just call a spade a spade. If they're telling you that the GPU is done, the GPU is done. There's not a whole lot you can do at that point. You're not gonna resell it at a discount because nobody's gonna buy it. Where they can buy a used graphics card that actually works for like $50 more. There's no point. So yeah, it's over, bro. All right, this is from Prince of Shadows. Prince of Shadows says, getting text from a friend's number with the 1 left off. My friend and I were texting, and then randomly I get unsaved number that is their number, but the one is left off the front. Any text they send come through this copy. I've tried deleting it, blocking it, and revoking my phone. Have they been cloned? Are my friend and I in trouble? Well, for starters, you can run a program like Malwarebytes on both phones to see if there is something malicious there. But quick question, does your friend receive texts from you with one letter off? Is it mutual? I guess that's the best way to ask. I mean, is it mutual? Does he see characters and phone numbers with one character off? Because if he does, then it may be something bad. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that if it's mutual, then it can be a problem. But you know, it kind of is what it is. So yeah, I would still run Malwarebytes just to be on the safe side. But if his issue is the same, then it may just be a bug that you guys are experiencing, especially if you're on the same operating system, like if you're both Windows phones or Mac phones or Androids or whatever. Alrighty, and next up, help. I changed the speed of my RAM. Now my computer will turn off or boot up. I changed the XP profile to profile 1, hit save, and now the PC isn't producing a video out and it won't turn off. Yeah, clear BIOS. But I think everybody's gonna say that, or clear CMOS. Pull out the CMOS, yeah. I don't know why I had that on there. I'm sorry, I should have never grabbed that. I mean, everybody's gonna figure that one out. Let's just grab one more just to be on the safe side. Because we can. Let's see. You know, let's roulette it. Let's refresh. Hopefully it won't be Ubuntu. But let's see what we. Oh my god. Oh. This is so big it. What is this? Only 10 grand, sweet. One item will be shipped to you. Noctua NHD 15 brown CPU cooler, $114.99, which is a lot higher for a Noctua. Usually they're around $85, but okay, whatever. Total before tax, $114.99. Shipping, $10,005.98. It's shipping from Mars. So obviously it's gonna take a long time to get to you. So, you know, from that planetary interspatial travel becomes kind of a pain. You know, we gotta wait for the next ship to come and pick up the item from Mars and actually bring it to Earth and then drive to your location, because a lot of times we don't usually land in land areas. We land in water. So then you have to get a boat and go to shore, and then you have to ship it via UPS or something like that. It's worth $10,000 considering how much fuel costs and the spaceship it took us to go get it from Mars. Okay, I'm done. Yeah, first comment. Are you on Mars? That's exactly how I felt. That intergalactic travel be expensive. Yeah, that's exactly how I felt, because yeah, you're definitely coming from another planet with that much shipping. That's crazy. Okay, I think we'll end it for today. Yeah, I think we're good. Thank you guys so much for watching. It has been a pleasure. And if you like this video, go to like button. If you really like it, I'm going to subscribe. I love you either way. Take care, all the best, and bye. I will see you on Monday. You guys take care and peace.
Now streaming on Paramount.